different pit strategies and different pitting agendas.
Ricky Craven, there is the separation to race leader Jeff Gordon, 3.3 seconds pretty much.
You know, Dale, just to go back to that gear deal just for a second, yeah, people will put like a 33 gear in, right, and your third, that's for 1-to-1 in fourth gear. Then your third gear is like maybe a 118. What happens when that car on fresh tires, you can stand that lower gear because the rear wheels will hook up. But once it starts sliding around, then you go to that higher gear and it'll help the rear tires.
Well, you're right, Larry. And Dale Jr. just drove off in the corner there and he almost ran the back of Bobby Hamilton and he locked it up and slid way up the hill. But that is really good thinking, and I would have never thought about that, coming here with that gear selection that way. Gives you the best of both worlds.
The only thing you have to be careful when you're in third gear and not 1-to-1, a lot of heat is being generated. Not as much maybe in the transmissions that we have now. Here we go, Ricky Craven in that 32 car. This is a battle with Terry Labonte. This is a battle for 8.
And if you watch Craven's car, how it accelerates up off the corner, he's in that 650 gear mode right now. When he gets in clear sailing, he'll pull it back into the 633 gear mode and cruise. See if we can see what happened to Dale Jr. down here. It looked like he was coming in here too hot, and he locked up the brakes, and yeah.
Bobby Hamilton in the 55 gets fired.
Jeff Gordon with Bobby Hamilton now in second, about 1 second back.
Winston Cup Racing on FX is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
Caution is out at Martinsville Speedway, and here is why. The Burton brothers.
The leaders are coming. That's why. Everybody's getting a little impatient. The leaders are coming. Got to get out of my way. I got to go.
Oh, it's the Hatfields and McCoys, Darrell. It's the Burton brothers side by side, and it's the Sadler brothers that end up.
There you see the leader, Jeff Gordon, at 24. That's how close he was to that pack.
The spotter and the crew chief don't realize what the pressure they put on that driver when they tell him he's got to go.
Well, Elliott Sadler's car wasn't working all that well. The back end started to come around, and when he saved it, he was aimed at the bottom of the racetrack. Jeff Burton was already headed for that hole.
That half a hole.
Right.
It was a half a hole.
That's all it was.
This is one of those places where if you crack the door open a little bit, somebody will knock it down.
And here's Jimmy Johnson among the drivers who are pitting. Dick Berggren.
Well, Jimmy Johnson started in 14th position, dropped all the way back to 33rd. The problem, an ignition box failure. He has changed to the second ignition box. Car is better. He's taken 2, and he's out of here. Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, it does not look like Jeff Gordon is going to pit. He just radioed crew chief Robbie Loomis and said car is a little bit tight in the middle, but getting better, and he has a little bit of wheel spin coming off the corners.
You know, in the truck race and in the Stacy's Cup car, that patch down there where they put the tunnel in, the walk-through tunnel, as the race went on in the truck, every time I'd get on that concrete and touch the gas, it'd want to spin the tires. So there's this patch right here is they put a tunnel in right here, a walk-through tunnel, and that patch right there, when you hit the throttle, it makes the tires want to spin.
You can see it's not near as black as other concrete, not as much rubber on that. That other concrete has had rubber going down for a long period of time.
All right, it's time. Do I hear the music? I don't hear the music. But it is Pep Boys trivia time. Who's the only driver to win a Winston Cup race at Martinsville with a pass on the last lap?
Oh, well, I believe it was my man DW.
Yeah, do you remember?
All right,
I was running third.
Yeah, he was third. Who was ahead of him on that last lap?
Now, you didn't ask that question.
It's not on the board.
One question per
Well, this one was easy.
Since I know.
Yeah, you were there.
Dale was leading. Terry Labonte was running second, and I was running third. I bumped into the back of Terry Labonte, shot him into the back of Dale. They both spun. Only lap I led was from turn 4 to the start-finish line.
I was going to say, not only on the last lap, last corner of the last lap.
That's incredible.
That's why they keep building seats here. Days like that. Steve?
Mike, Ricky Rudd is listed in the 10th position right now, but he's telling his crew chief, Michael McSwain, that he thinks he's a 10th better than the leaders. He has 45 Winston Cup starts here, and he said he's going to save his car and, more specifically, his brakes for late in the race.
Getting set for the restart, the leaders did not pit. Gordon, Earnhardt Jr., Hamilton, Stewart, Craven, who's come all the way up to 5th place. As we watch the speed build from Jeff Gordon.
Race car going down to 40 miles per hour. There you see it going to start-finish line. Right at 100 miles an hour, 102 miles an hour. Roll out the throttle early. Down the mid-50s, middle 1 and 2. Now they're getting up to speed, about 114 miles per hour into the backstretch.
Larry, the trouble with pitting when you're in the back of the pack, when you take the restart green flag, you're a half a lap down.
Yeah, they're single file for the most part, and that's the reason hitting at 50-something laps. The leaders elected to stay out. The guys at the back keep pitting, hoping we'll have a long enough run. The leaders will have to pit, then they can get the track position.
One thing that I noticed was difficult is on this particular tire at this racetrack, it takes 2 or 3 laps for them to really get the traction that you're looking for. You need the whole racetrack to move around to get the tires working in before you get going.
Goodyear brings a great tire here. It really suits this racetrack, and it don't wear out. On into a run, 100 laps or so, it'll start losing a little grip. But like we said in the opening, track position over fresh tires.
Tony Stewart with a run on Bobby Hamilton.
And you see what Bobby does? Bobby is looking in a mirror. He sees Tony's there. He goes up the racetrack. He knows he does not want to cut down in front of Tony and take a chance on getting wrecked right now. But look who's right behind those guys. I mean, he is working on. He's working high, low, just like we said, Larry, and he is coming to the front. He's getting in the corner. I mean, he really flies down into the corner.
Pat?
Well, Mike, Ricky Craven in the 32 car is trying. As you can see, he closes in on the 20, trying to fill that rear view mirror of Tony Stewart. Now, Ricky reported in under that caution that his car is a little bit tight in the center of the corner. They're talking about maybe an air pressure adjustment on their pit stop. He started 18th, now up to 5th. But one thing he did say, if he runs the line that he wants to, the car gets even tighter. So he's had to adjust his line to how the car is reacting.
Jimmy Johnson's crew has just told him to watch his shifts. When he changed the ignition box, they lost the rev limiter. So he's got to be very careful that he doesn't over-rev the engine, shifting the car from here on.
And what they're talking about, these cars have 2 ignition systems in them. One has the rev limiter in it. One will have a chip in the rev. It's about a 9200, I would imagine, 9200 RPM. When you go to the other ignition, they don't have a rev limiter in that ignition. That's for the end of the day. When you want to maximize everything you can, you switch to the other ignition, get rid of the rev limiter. But now he's that way all the way to the end.
Just look how far the RPMs fall down. 48, 4900. That's down in the middle of turn 1 and 2. All the way like we talked about, 9,000 in the backstretch. There you see he's about 14 seconds behind leader Jeff Gordon and losing. That's 2/3 of a lap.
And the engine has to make that pull 1,000 times to get through this day.
Well, just on that restart, they came off a corner 4 down in turn 4 at 40 miles an hour, and they were over 100 miles an hour when they got to the first turn. Wow. That was on a restart. That's how quick you accelerate.
Let's go back to 18th place, where Jeremy Mayfield is working on a Robbie Gordon.
This is the car that Casey Atwood, who drove the 19 last year, actually sat on the pole with at Phoenix. They didn't come and test here. They went to another short track, Greenville, South Carolina, and tested like a lot of teams did, just trying to work on their short track program without burning one of the 7 NASCAR tests.
But you know something I also learned, Larry, the last couple of weeks is Caraway, the little racetrack where we took the truck. A lot of teams are finding out Greenville's a great place to go test. It's nice and flat. But Caraway has a lot sharper turns. You get your car or your truck to turn at that racetrack, it seems to work good here. Dennis Setzer, who won the truck race yesterday, tested for 2 days at Caraway before he came here.
The teams are allowed to test at non-Winston Cup tracks as much as they want. Just only 7 times a year at tracks where the Winston Cup Series actually races.
I tell you, and Larry and Mike, y'all have to help me here. I got information overload. I've been down in the pits for 2 days, and I found out more things that the guys are doing and not doing than I ever have.
Now, as we're with Dale Jarrett, as we first took that shot, you heard him ask, Ask the 90 spotter if he'll give me some room. And it backs up what Larry said at the top of the show. It's easy to catch somebody here. Boy, it's hard to pass them.
They're running the bottom. You see Rick Mass in the 90 car right around the bottom. Dale Jarrett keeps searching around. He just can't get by him. This is the same car that Dale Jarrett run both races with last year and actually won a year ago with. How about this guy right here, though, that won the fall race? Ricky Craven in that 32. He goes by Tony Stewart. That's a battle for 4th place.
TIDE looks pretty good today, boys. It's always, that car has, I don't care whatever, who's driving TIDE, they win at Martinsville.
You've won, Ricky Rudd's won, Ricky Craven's won. Pretty neat. 71 of 500 laps are complete. Settle in for a long haul here at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon is our leader. There are your top 3 and where they are in the pits. Bobby Hamilton is out of the pits, taking on only 2 tires, while most of the rest of the lap cars get 4.
But again, pit position. We talk about track position, but here pit position, he took 2. He's out ahead of Jeff Gordon, who took 4. So Jeff's got a big advantage.
But I talked to Charlie Presley, his crew chief, this morning. He said, Larry, I don't plan on changing left side tires maybe over about twice during this race. He said, I want to give him that track position. But if your car is tight, not turning, you have to be careful with 2 tires. It'll make it even a little tighter, so you got to make an adjustment with those 2 tires.
All right, let's show you why we're under caution. Happened down at turn 1.
Now, the 4 car right here, look, he's heavy on brakes. See how his nose is down against the racetrack? And here's Kenny Wallace way out here going wide into turn 1. Look what happens.
Yeah,
they come together right there. So I wouldn't be mad at Mike Skinner. Kenny Wallace was probably laying out thinking that Mike was going to dive under him. They just come together.
From Matt Kenseth's view.
Keep coming, good. Clear all around, clear all around. Still green.
And Kenny Wallace.
Yes, here, hold the brake, hold the brake. Here, come on. Brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
Wallace lost a lap because the leaders were closing in when that happened.
Let me tell you somebody else that lost a lap that had been in the top 10. There you see Jimmy Spencer, the 41. He did not make the paddle man over there, the stop and go. Jeff Hammond, lots of trouble for Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I can't see his pit from where I am right now, Larry, but he came around and he was trying everything in the world to get out and beat that pace car out, and that NASCAR sign guy just about got ran over trying to hold him.
Darrell, it sounds like that's where you take the speeding penalty in order to avoid being held at the exit of the pits because the pace car was going past and be a lap down.
Well, that's what that would be wise on the spotter's part to tell him to go on and take the penalty.
He might have been trying to do just that, Steve.
Mike, Jeff Gordon tells Robbie Loomis the car just keeps getting better and better. They changed 4 tires, no other adjustments on that 24. Matt Yoakum.
Steve, the 32 car took on 4 tires, no adjustments. Remember, we told you the car was just a tick tight, but they chose to leave it alone. To Dick Berggren.
Kurt Busch, who bounced his car off happy hour yesterday afternoon, came in and took 4 tires, a little wedge adjustment to the back end. The car was a little bit loose in. They also adjusted the air pressure. He came in as good as 12th, came out in 18th spot. He's running very well today. Mike?
Thanks, Dick. 79 laps complete. Only Andy Hillenberg in the garage area, though Casey Atwood's car is off the track and under repair. Kenny Schrader's back on the speedway, and we're getting set to go with this restart. Hermie Sadler alongside as we get set for the restart. Well, let's crank it up.